Hey everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started with the next run, which is Copy Kitty from RocketFox. I know that the game info on the screen is not updated. We're working on getting that fixed, but I didn't want to keep the hold back the run. And so we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to RocketFox, and I'm going to just double check the game audio here, and we should be good. So RocketFox, take it away.
Hi, I'm RocketFox. This is Copy Kitty. Honestly, the commentary's prepared to go mid-run, so I can just go ahead and get started. If you want to do a countdown, or I can do it.
Yep, I think we are all set, so go ahead and count yourself in.
Alright, so 3, 2, 1, go. I'm just gonna try this first stage again. Real quick. So, in this game, copy abilities from defeated enemies. You can buy up to 3 of them to make a super weapon. And the weapons will usually combine in logical ways. There's also a bunch of non-combinable weapons we'll see. They're generally more powerful than the basic ones. And generally, you just have to defeat all the target enemies to proceed to the next stage. They're quite short, go quite fast, but there are a lot of stages. So this Flame Talisman adds damage over time to my attacks. It doesn't actually take up a slot. Wave here, you see, goes through walls. So that's pretty useful. And here's our first shrivel weapon. We can use to clear out this entire big room of enemies. So those are quite strong, and we want to try to get them if we can. Right, so here, this enemy, every 5th shot it fires is a spread shot. So I want to jump over that. And also lure it further to the right, because we need to drive it now. So this guy is pretty slow, so we try to avoid using him. This stage forces you to, and you can't get out either. In this stage specifically. Set up my spread shot there to kill that one enemy specifically, since it's tricky to kill it in time. Without stopping, that is. Alright, not every weapon combo is perfectly logical. For instance, Quick Plus Lightning makes this sword that we no longer need, so I drop it immediately. Lightning and Tornado makes this neat lightning bolt attack. Skip's having to enter the last room myself. Here we'll see a special triple weapon. Summon Dragon. So this thing is very strong, but not very reliable, so I try to avoid using it. Are you gonna get this guy? I guess not. Of course. Doing a staircase run, it would give me the worst pattern I've ever seen. That's fine. Alright, we try to kill some enemies there for our combo meter. If we get our combo meter full, we'll get a much higher rate of fire and reduced ammo consumption. So that's a very good thing. What I aim for as much as possible. This boss, I just kind of tank its attacks from this point on. Damage taking is usually quite bad in this game, but in this boss it turns out to be the best option. Now here, we get the boss's weapon, and we can kind of just loop it between the ceiling and the floor. Otherwise it can bounce quite far across the stage. So I want to avoid that. Alright, we're on to World 2. There's 12 worlds in this game. Wow. That didn't go quite according to plan. I'm just gonna take some extra time to kill that enemy. Make sure those sheep are taken care of. That stage can be a real mess. Alright, here we'll see Tornado on its own. Saw it in a combo in stage 3, and I'm gonna reset that because getting frozen is the worst thing that can happen. Retries don't take too long. It does count onto your game time, so it's not cheating or anything. Yeah, Tornado goes straight up, pierces walls and enemies, but it's not very versatile, so we try to combine it with other weapons whenever we pick it up. Right, just need to hit this guy an extra time. If I position things right, that thing dies on its own from the Tornado combo. Alright. So this guy's our friend. Not really. We'll be seeing a bunch. So the Ogballs take a while to drop any weapons, so we have to make do with our basic moves until then. Oh, man, I missed both of those. Alright, so what I was trying to do there was get a reflect. Your kick breaks projectiles. If you hit the exact center of the projectile, it'll reflect it instead. This is generally not the most reliable thing. Like, usually I'll either have a specific setup or I'll just go for it without expecting to get it. That one I did have a setup for, but I was in the wrong position when the guy teleported to do the attack. So water here will improve the damage of lightning weapons, as you might expect. It'll also give you more wave projectiles. If you have a wave combo, like this, you see it fires 2 shots instead of 1. Makes it a little tricky to aim because you lose your basic shooting angle, because it splits in a V. And I agree, this game is adorable. Have the chat open. So I'm used to reading it anyway. I screwed that up a bit. Here's another solo weapon. Typhoon. Don't give me an uppercut. That does quite a bit of damage. Oh no. Okay, the crab got out of my way. I can come back for him. Or I can kill him now, if he really wants me to. Alright, we can also use the Hadouken move with this to break that platform. You have to either freeze it or use the buzzsaw roll I picked up right afterwards. And I freeze it, just get trying to kill the enemy for the first buzzsaw roll drop. Alright. So this boss can't damage it until the orb breaks. 5, 6, 7... I need an extra drill kick. That's fine. Oh no, that's not. I don't know how to deal with that, so I'm just gonna reset. There'll be a bit of a time loss, but I'm okay with that. Oh, that's one too many, I think. Whatever, he's in the right position. I'll just kick him one time less. Right. We want to wait for the orb to attack, because it does drop an extra weapon, if it gets to do that. Alright, there we go. So these girders will deal damage over time to anything they latch onto. This whip has pretty high DPS. Usually. Tear down this stuff. Okay, we hit full combo and use some girders to try to finish it off. What a low on whips, but that's okay. Depends on when I get my combo there. Right. Gonna lay some girders while we're waiting for a phase transition here. Girders deal less damage in phase 2, but they're still very powerful. Alright, this lava here makes eruptions when explosions hit it. Also, the boss set the forest on fire, so we're having to do something about that. We won't really see any of the plot because speedrun mode skips basically all the cutscenes. Honestly, if you want to know what's going on, just play the game yourself. It's only $15. There's a free demo as well. That goes all the way up to World 5 on Boki normal mode, so that's cool. Oh yeah, as well. Quick plus tornado lets us aim the tornado wherever we want. It's a pretty neat combination. Alright, there's a bit of an Easter egg weapon right at the start here, inside that thing. You can also get some kills with it for a combo. This guy takes critical damage if we hit him in the head. Also, by drill kicking this wall, I'm actually able to use Typhoon faster than I should be able to. So I can actually combo this boss down pretty fast. Normally bosses are supposed to get to do all their moves before you kill them. That guy, he did not. So anyway, that conveniently puts out the fire. Since that guy is a temperature control device, apparently. We're on to World 3. That drill kick you saw me using, I'll explain in a bit. This stage is hard. Alright, that's fine. So these guys have shields, so we want to try to hit around them, or pierce through them if we can. We didn't have an option for that there. Now I'll mention the drill kick later. Actually, no, I'll do it later. I don't really have to explain it. So you saw me use a plasma combo there to clear out the enemies at the end. Plasma is pretty useful since it pierces through it. So it's a strong combo. Here we have a remote. Must be fire these bombs that I can detonate with the kick button. But I can't kick while one is out for that reason. Finding it explode makes it explode on contact, but usually I detonate it manually anyway. It's a little quicker. Alright, I'm gonna stomp this enemy into the spikes to get rid of it. And there, saw a kick shot. I get the wrong drill kick direction. I do that there a lot, I don't know why. So if you kick right after you shoot, but before the shot has come out, the shot comes out of the kick hitbox instead, which lets me shoot through some thin walls. Nice, got all three. So I try to reflect that guy's remote bombs, eat those out with a drill kick. Drill kick isn't really intended to reflect things, but the first and last frame of it will. So it's like a frame perfect trick technically, but I don't need to get it, so I just go for it anyway. Here we have Chemical. Makes this chain reaction that we can keep feeding into to make it bigger and make it last longer. It'll last as long as we keep feeding it. And can hit a very wide area at max size. Here I'll use the iframes I get when starting a level to jump right through that enemy to position more easily. Don't use those too much, but sometimes they come in handy. Ooh. Barely avoided that eruption out of the oil. Want one of those rocks to hit the enemy that I make when I break terrain. These rocks are kind of just for fun. They are random, but they're useful in this one instance. Sequence break here. I can detonate this on the ledge. just showing what happens when I don't get it. It'll hit that target there, grab this Shadow Metal, which makes us invincible. And we use Chemical to clean up these targets we were supposed to go through first. Alright, and try to set up a reaction here to hit all these enemies. That guy's flying too high. Just take it out with my own weapon. My other weapon, I should say. Alright, we have these jellies here. We can bounce off them by kicking them. Power kick will make us bounce even further. Nice extra shot. You can buffer shots into the roll. That's what I did there, by accident. Get a kill real quick for a combo, as usual, on these bosses. This guy's pretty random in where it decides to move. Can't hit me with this attack, I'm directly below it. It is dropping acid on me, but I'm not really concerned about that. That's what those music wave things are, if they're supposed to be acid. Wow, that's actually very good. If he'd get down here, I can intersperse combo shots between the chemical shots to kind of get a pseudo combo going there. 38 is very fast on that boss. You usually see like 40 to 44 seconds. I'm doing something right now, could you please? Sorry about that. Okay. Is that guy gonna... Okay, normally that guy's supposed to kill himself with the spikes. Alright, dynamite here. Explodes on a fixed timer. Yeah. And bounces around and we can kick it. So to explain that while I was doing it, but I got distracted. Right, we can reflect this to avoid having to pick it up ourselves. So it detonates the TNT box instantly. Alright, this guy searches for a weapon, finds one, he picks it up and gains health and an attack. I want to avoid letting him do that as much as possible. We can generally just pick up all the weapons ourselves, but now there's 4 of them out, so we can't do that. Oh, I ran out of one, so I could have. That's fine. These guys get stronger if they touch the fire. I do not. I probably didn't need to retry over that, but it's easier to keep in rhythm if I just reset most of the time. A lot of the levels as well will be pretty cycle-based, or at least they'll change a lot if I am on different timing than I'm used to. So so I do have a kind of bias towards retrying. Even sometimes when I shouldn't. Alright, we get to fight this guy we've seen a couple times. He's semi-predictable. He'll alternate between those bunkers and these inner locations. He won't revisit a location, and he'll avoid going where I am for the central locations. So I can kind of guess with increasingly better odds as the fight goes on. Like, I know he'll be there now. Didn't mean to fire that dynamite in that spot I was blocking. Block this spot so he go down there. I should have done it the other way around. Alright, so here we have penguins. They're not technically random, but highly chaotic. That one took a while to reach the TNT. It needs to. I generally don't want to rely on... Wow, that's a nice strat. I should do that. That was accidental. Wow, they actually helped a lot. That's... Wait, that's fine. That's the correct weapon. I don't know why I thought it was the wrong one. Okay. Alright, so this guy's also pilotable, and also very slow. So once again, we want to avoid using it. Which I allowed to get out of this one, but we don't really have a better option for dealing with the stage. Oh, that was a fast one. Okay. You can do a little trick here. Nice, I got it. Skip having to start that chain reaction of TNT from the left. Precise throw there will kill all three of the enemies over there that we need to. And leave a dynamite behind for that guy before he spawns completely. That was fast. I am absolutely okay with that. Whoa. I should just... You know what? I'll try again. Ow. Okay, whatever. I'll wait. Wow. Well, good. This run has no chance of accidentally being a PB. Wow, this is the worst this has ever gone. Probably would have been faster to just retry at that point. Stage only takes like 8.5 seconds normally. Oh, whatever. We have to destroy this guy's arms. The weapon we choose for this is Rampage Blade. Very short reach, very high damage. We're actually one short of being able to break them all with it. And I missed one. But that's okay. The double weapon we get switched to is pretty good for finishing it off. And we try to position the boss here so to land on the TNT blocks in the floor, which will damage it a little more. One more swing. I missed. As well, that penguin in the upper left. When I hit it with my mace, it gains a ton of momentum and actually damages the boss. So I get a free extra hit that way. Alright. More start of the level iframes. Just walk through the buzzsaws before we can be hit. Wow, I made it on the early cycle. Even without doing the fast strat. The slightly faster strat, it's not really much of one. Right, here we have these circuit boxes. I do a kick shot there to just hit that one once instead of having to hit them multiple times. They'll unlock any doors they're connected to, or close them. and activate and deactivate buzzsaws as well, and kill enemies with their high damage. Take that core out, since we can't get close enough for lightning to really be as good as it can be. That sheep is really hard to get past from a little weight. I think I can do a little trick there where I drill kick that wall to gain some height. And we see that later in the run. An enemy's got to spawn on a timer here, so I have time to go pick up weapons up there. Standing a bit close. I thought it might do that. For some reason, it doesn't really know how to find me when I'm standing there. I don't really know why. It does make it easier to kill, though. And there, I actually forego grabbing a third weapon for my combo, because it's better to use that double weapon there. These guys will teleport to fixed locations, fire these gears that are actually very easy to reflect. Oh dear. I have to call that the impossible jump because it's really hard to do. Because of one decorative block, actually. Whatever. I'll come back here. Wow, that guy got away because I fired one of the gears the wrong way. That's fine. That stage is a disaster. I missed the jump. That's not supposed to happen. Here we get Buzzsaw Roll that we saw before, and Super Speed. Super Speed makes us move faster and gives us the damaging Shockwave. Shockwave will make us bounce off those jelly enemies though, so it's a little annoying. Another kick shot on the left there. Skip that door. And we use our full combo to just point like lightning that core. Alright, Yogball's back. Again! This one's kind of tricky to fight. I kind of have to really respect what it does, because it attacks in a very wide area when it hits the wall. Alright, when it gets low enough, I get to use the area attack myself. Wow, I missed. Needed to move further left there. Yes, there is a free demo, if you want to try the game. We haven't even finished the demo content yet. Okay, so these guys will make barriers. The green ones we can't pass through, the orange ones our shots can't pass through, and the lightning ones just deal damage. Killing the enemy will break all the connected barriers that it's touching. Being on cycle in this stage actually makes this go way smoother than it normally would. So that worked out alright. Use this prism blade with its long reach to hit that guy from the other side of the key block it opens. Lets us just route the stage as one big loop. No backtracking required. In this stage you'll see me kill some extra enemies to try to get a combo. That gear enemy was supposed to be killed, and he hit me, which reduces my combo. I'm just gonna kill these guys. That'll help. Yeah, we got full combo. Anyway, kind of have to make a wedge here to shoot these from. Alright, this boss can be a little random. I want to make sure it doesn't drop that whip inside the wall, because it can if we push it back far enough. Oh, don't go fully under the platform. We just drill kick into that and tank it, because normally it's a huge knockback if we get hit by one of those. That was as fast as I expected to go. My PB is like 4 seconds faster. But that's absurd. The boss cooperated quite well that time. This guy's not happy that we destroyed the factory, so he's gonna take us to prison. We'll be able to escape pretty easily, though. That cutscene there is one of the only long breaks I get during the run. Technically, since I go by in-game time, I can just kind of stop between stages if I want to, but I don't do that. So that will not make me play any better. I can skip a cycle there, but it's very difficult and loses a lot of time if I fail. These are alarm lasers, as you saw. They'll toggle gates and spawn alarm enemies that have to be killed to finish the stage. Or rather, the stage won't end if they're present, so they basically become extra target enemies for us. Right, these angel enemies will make shields and try to hover around other enemies and protect them. Shields also push us back. I can get pushed right off that ledge sometimes if that angel doesn't cooperate. Touch that slightly. Plasma will pierce through the shields, so we don't have to worry about them if we have plasma on us. Alright, we can jump this guy into the spikes just by kicking that chain out from under him. Grab that plasma. Alright. So here, I can't shoot through these walls, but these enemies, they can. So all I have to do is use their shots. Actually, I fucked a third one. I only need 2. The angle they fire at is a little random, so I do have to just gauge where it's going to go and do the reflect as best as I can. Stage takes like a full minute if you don't do that, so it's faster even with third try, I think. Third set of shots the enemies fire. Why did that not work? I kind of need that to go correctly for the sake of the rest of the stage. This is a pretty cool weapon. Makes this very big star that does a bunch of damage. I need an extra one there. That guy cooperated. So, take out that thing that's been following me for a while. Ah, missed. Sub 30 is pretty good in that stage. This Yarkwell is going to drop a unique weapon, at least in normal mode. It's unique. Radio Pulse. It deals more damage and gets larger the further it travels, so we want to try to hit from far away. This will finish it. Okay. Wow, that actually went well. I got here ahead of time. Ah, the penguin survived. They can die in 3 shots, but because the penguins bounce around so much, an explode only does half damage if it doesn't hit with the main explosion. Sometimes they survive. Supposed to jump on that enemy to get up here, but we can just use the drill kick against the wall to gain a little extra height. I guess I can explain the drill kick. It's fully invincible. It does decent damage. Pierces through enemies. It's very useful for combat and movement. As you've probably seen. That horrible damage to the boss if I destroy it on top of him. Nice reflect, I can go for there. This boss kinda doesn't do a whole lot to me. The orb can't get the orb damage this time. It's fine. So this boss makes a wormhole when we destroy it. And that's how we escape. We're on to World 7. Missed one of my shots there. That guy drops a freeze talisman that slows down enemies, but I don't actually want it in this stage. These enemies, they teleport when they're damaged. Well, if I hadn't accidentally picked up Quick and gotten Paradox Blade, I would want them to be teleporting so they'll land in my shots. Paradox Blade, that's kind of a moot point. Alright, so these glitch sheep will teleport between 3 fixed locations when they take damage. When they take enough damage, specifically. Obviously, I've memorized where they go. They aren't a big deal. 21 is fast on that stage. Okay. Give me this. We can copy that shadow enemy's attack using this combo. Actually worked out pretty well that time. It's not terribly reliable. Here we'll see the no flinching property of super speed. Jump right through that enemy. That damage is avoidable while still doing the strat. But it's hard. This guy really can't attack you if you're above him. You can only hit with the charge attack, but it doesn't have enough time to finish there. Yeah, another Yawg Ball. Oh, I'm supposed to hit my back against that ledge to avoid that knockback. I was too far to the right, though. I believe this is the first stage I ever did a speedrun of in this game. Almost 2 years ago now. Alright, wave is right there, but I'm still going to use kick shots. Because it's faster than going to pick it up. Alright, we want to keep this Flame Talisman until the end. This stage, even though it powers that one guy up, makes him take an extra sword swing. Alright, this is actually a bunch of sheep that split all over the level. If I do this right, I think I got it. The sheep will just get killed on their own by the fire damage. I won't have to chase them anywhere. That didn't go as fast as it's supposed to. Let's do this. I kind of try to take out both sides at once by sending that charge shot over there, while I go this way. Even that level has strats. Get a little boost off that wormhole at the start of the stage. They try to suck you in, so it's actually a little risky to go for that. It's only a minor time save too, but I don't fail it too often. Right, we grab plasma so we can take out this stack of enemies. It's pretty good for the rest of the room as well. In this stage, I get a choice of all the basic weapons and a few other weapons too. We're gonna take these three. So, this weapon is pretty ammo efficient for its screen clear ability. Alright, we swap it for this weapon. We don't actually need this weapon specifically, but we need another weapon that going through this weapon is the best way to get to it. The thing didn't... Okay, they're gone. We swap to this weapon, because it hits all the same enemies on the same... every enemy on the same frame. Which cuts down on hit stop effects quite a bit. It's like the only place that really matters. This boss has these weapons that we can break and pick up ourselves. And they actually combine with each other. The only non-basic weapon that does that. Well, one of the only ones. Right here, we're supposed to like stun two of the shields with two of our weapons and then hit with the third one. But I can just stand so close that it doesn't need to do that. I can just hit from within the shield radius. And the boss upgrades its weapons, which turns out to be a mistake, because it lets us break the shields, because we get the weapon upgrade too. Really? Huh. That's insane. But PB in that world was good. I can do an enemy setup there to get those, group those enemies really well for the chain foil. I didn't mention, but I went for a reflect on the chain foil, and I think I got it. I wasn't actually paying a lot of attention. Sometimes that's the key to speedrunning, is to just not really think about what you're doing at all. Sometimes muscle memory is all you need. Right, here we get this neat weapon. We actually saw it in level 4 as a backup. Its downward attack lets me fire 4 of these bombs at once, which is pretty good. I powered it. Those enemies try to ambush me, but I turn it back around by just setting a bunch of remote bombs. Take that guy out. I like these pawn enemies that only attack diagonally. If you stand still from the time they notice you, they actually will miss if you're on their level. Alright, we can bounce on that target and jump kick that wall to skip having to fire that first cannon. We also have to reposition it, so it's kind of slow. And sequence break is pretty easy, so not a hard choice. I didn't get those guys. I'll just finish them with some kicks. Alright, so this is a neat stage if I can get it properly. This flame talisman doesn't last very long, so we need to try to apply it to all these enemies. Got turned around. I don't really want him to do that, but I can manage it. Ah, that guy. The shields are a little hard to deal with the remote. They don't work quite how you'd expect them to. Alright, light those two cannons real quick and just wait so I can get some weapons. Wait for this enemy to move a particular spot. Bounce off it to get up here. I need that. I need that. Grab another one of these, I guess, while I'm down here. I try to clear a path to that cannonball so to reach that enemy in the upper right. Sometimes it is very hard to reach the ground. Because you bounce on enemies when you land on top of them in a normal falling state. And you don't always want that. Right, there's a plasma tucked away in the corner here. It's very useful, so it's worth going up there for. I didn't mention it, but those mini versions of the previous boss, they're only vulnerable to armor-piercing damage, like Plasma, or the medieval weapons or sword, so Plasma is very useful for that reason. I'm gonna retry that because this is highly cycle-based. I'll try one more time. I won't reset if I mess it up again. Yeah, so we just sync up with the enemies that are firing on those shots. Right, didn't get that flail reflect. I really don't expect to get either of them. But I got one of them. Right, so this might seem like a familiar setup. This sword actually has a bunch of attacks. They charge up into more powerful versions over time. I try to just cycle through them in a fixed order. My first cycle is actually slightly different, to avoid taking damage from the boss. Alright, now we get upgraded moves. Let me down. He literally jumped just to catch me so I'd bounce off of him. This guy actually has no idea what he's doing. He just moves around and attacks randomly. Which makes him very difficult to deal with. What time was that? Oh, sub-minute. That's pretty good. The fight always looks messy, so I never know how good I actually did. Until I see the time. I actually grabbed that flame talisman while our shot was already out, but it still applies to the shot, which takes out one of the enemies over there. That was more lag than usual. That's alright. This level actually has absolute minimum amount of terrain in it. It just has 2 sidewalls. Everything else is enemies. But it gets killed by the fire anyway. Alright, this combo on this Yoggle is really tricky to get. Got it. I technically only need 3 points on my combo, but I go for 4. So that can help compensate for mistakes in this part of the fight. This guy's attacks in a fixed pattern until after this move. But his very next attack is random. The Yogg Balls and some other bosses will always work that way. They'll try to cycle through all their moves in a fixed order before doing anything random. Some of them get a lot of random actions, some of them hardly get any. Like that one. This level has low gravity, so we'll jump higher and fall slower. Kill that. Okay. Let's damage boost through that. Nice drill kick. Now half gravity switches. Use the low gravity to reach the higher ledge back there. Now we want the high gravity, because it lets us do this. "31's pretty good there. I need to use this Meteor Breaker attack a little more, as the level name implies. Try to group these enemies together efficiently. I didn't wait long enough. Those crab enemies have somewhat random movement, so it's not always in the same spot at the same time. Ow. I'm gonna try that again. So another gimmick here, time fields. Slow and fast variants. You can use the fast ones for a higher rate of fire, but moving in them is very difficult, so I try to avoid doing too much of that. Oh, wasn't quite high enough and tapped the key block before it was gone. Lost all my momentum. We can dip into this fast time field to reduce our weapon cooldown a bit. That took more shots than it's supposed to. I think the shots in that attack are a little random. Okay. Little sequence break here. And just kick this enemy through this ceiling/floor if I stay in the right position. There's a block there trying to prevent me from doing exactly that, and it's not quite wide enough. So I do it anyway. I don't want that. Oh, you get to see it. Time stop. This is actually pretty slow to use. I try to avoid it. But if I accidentally pick it up, there's nothing to do but use it. Because of my control scheme, I can't drop a weapon without actually firing it first. Unless it was on the first slot already. I am using an advanced control scheme. And that gives me 3 shoot buttons and the combine button. Generally it makes my weapon management easier, but not being able to drop things without shooting them is a little bit of a pain sometimes. Yeah, sorry about that. Wow, I can't believe I got that. The enemy was right in my way. Got on top of the conveyor belt. You can't drop through platforms in this game. Yeah. Alright, I think I got that cleared up. We need at least 2 of those enemies to be killed. If the boss's laser kills them, then we don't get the weapons. So I need to get 2 of them myself. Save some of my plasma to kill one of these enemies to get this weapon. If the boss moves favorably, we can actually get a ton of damage really fast from the bounce shots. But it didn't. Alright, one more phase. Why are you on that side? Anyway, I can jump and get an early hit. Nice world transition there. World 10. Kind of lock ourselves in here so our bounce shots will be able to hit a lot of times on that one enemy. It takes a very long time to get out because you have to push the enemy back. So I very much hope I'm able to kill everything there. That might not work, yeah. So the fire hydrants you see in this world do very high damage, and are active even off screen, which my weapons normally aren't. But it's pretty hard to control the way they bounce around. I'll try to utilize them as much as I can, though. I killed that enemy just by damage boosting into it, which is pretty funny. Alright, this will take care of an enemy off screen. Okay, got it. And... hello? It's this guy, of course. That vehicle I was piloting is the Uvo, the third one. He doesn't have its own health bar, so he can still be damaged while we're in it, and that is not the strat. This is why you don't talk while doing certain strats. Anyway, that's the first boss again, so we get to use its weapon again. This is a little awkward. Diabolic Portal here pulls enemies in, does lots of damage over time. I fired an early one there to prevent one of the enemies from escaping, because I took a little longer to get there. Anyway, while we're doing the Sundin Rocks level, I can go back to the Ubo I was talking about. So it moves quite fast and can fly, so it's a vehicle we actually want to use, unlike this one. Right here, you want to avoid waking up any of these enemies. The invincible ones, specifically. Okay, we'll use start of the level iframes again here to jump through this thing. If I had gotten my jump on time, they do damage you for 1 point. I think one of only 2 sources in the game that can deal 1 damage to you. Well, besides acid. Get off the ceiling. Try to keep this guy confined to that box area up there, but, well, sometimes it escapes. Chasing these things down is, difficult. Especially with the random spread of my shots with this weapon. Alright, we get a choice of all the vehicles. And it's pretty obvious which one I'm gonna pick. One that goes fast. Wow, I got that quick kill. I almost got the second one, too. That stage one takes like 18 seconds. There's a couple of quick kills I can get on the 2 enemies I have to kill. The first one saves more time than the second one, so I'm glad I got that. Actually, sometimes I want to grab an Ubo, because it does get me to the right there quicker. But it kind of depends on where they end up. Wow, this thing is late getting over here. Alright, so in this stage, I'm not actually going to combine any weapons. If I could actually fire a remote downward, that would be nice. I don't have full combo. That's alright. I want full combo because they'll let me use the supernova move a second time. But, don't need it. If we keep our rainbow, we can use dynamite here instead. I only lost like 6 seconds. That's fine. It was actually a pretty fast backup. I was not supposed to fire a plasma shot there, and I am not going to have enough ammo. I shouldn't have fired that one. I should have saved it. I think. I mean, it might not matter, as it closes after that shot, so it probably isn't a big deal. Okay, yeah, I think I might be able to get the 2 cycle still. Alright, that doesn't matter because I got him low enough that he can't cause another cycle at that point. The game is nice there and just doesn't start a new cycle if you get the boss's health that low. Alright, that's helpful of you. Didn't even have to move. I just use Force here because I want to combine the Plasma with the Lightning weapon. I just get rid of Force because I don't want it here anymore. Try to synchronize that counterattack with the sweeping lasers so I don't have to do more than one dodge. Or take a hit. Because I'd probably just tank it if I didn't dodge it in one. Alright, so we get to pilot this thing now. And my Troiket's smaller counterpart. Every 5th shot is a sped shot. So I want to set that up. Do this lance swing to get rid of all the airborne enemies, so they won't be a problem in a moment. Alright. Get the spread shot right as we lower the shield. This charge attack hits an extra time if I jump for some reason. I really have no idea why. The lance swing also does extra damage if you're jumping. I need to shoot that again. I don't use the charge attack again because it's not really necessary on this last cycle. That was pretty good. Alright, we're into the last 2 worlds now. World 11 has ice, which we can actually use to gain a lot of speed. And it gives us this invincible spin attack on our first jump. Should I go back for that? Let's find out. No, that was absolutely not worth it. Should have just kept the force bounce I had, even though it's not what I want. The ice also gives us height based on our speed, which I'm just gonna play this casually, because I missed the jump. Make sure those guys are taken care of. Wow. Just bear with me while I forget how to platform on ice. At least drill kicking to change direction is pretty decent. Because you get the slide during your cooldown. That guy applied some freezing to me. There's an enemy still alive over there. Oh, it's gone. Okay. That stage tends to be really messy. That was an especially messy attempt, though. I delay a bit there to avoid landing on an enemy when I go past the snowball there. It's not really a clip, the snowball just kind of lets you pass. That guy's still alive, why? Yeah, get over there. Snowball was a penguin all along. My combo display actually spoils that, because I have it on the advanced display. You get to see penguin as one of my weapons as soon as the snowball kills anything. Right. We can use our spin jump to great effect in this fight. And just jump right through the boss. Like that. Alright, this is my other long cutscene break. Alright, but Ice World is already over. Unfortunately. So you can stack 2 cubes here on this switch to avoid having to press the last one. Now we have this variant of the penguin. Unlike their counterparts, they are aggressively anti-chaos, and will try to go back to their position as much as they can. Rather violently, in fact. I want that. That big snake enemy I fought is, it's possible to manipulate its pattern by where you stand. Here I try a sequence break that the game actually tries to stop. I got it. Unfortunately skips the fun Makaruma chain up there. That's what those penguin variants are called. Yeah, it tries to pull the penguin back away from that switch if it sees me going for the door. I jump over the trigger for part of it, so I'm actually able to just barely slip past before the penguin is pulled off the switch in that previous stage. Alright, here we have Curse. Reverses my controls. And replaces all of my weapons with snakes. So we had to wait it out to use a cube here. Hopefully we don't have to get cursed again. Well, that's a little annoying, because now the cube's in my way. Oh, whatever. It's fine. I'll just sit there and burn. That is the wrong weapon. Alright, using some camera manipulation, I can actually hit an enemy off a switch up there and skip most of the level. I just need to have it scrolled high enough so that my shots don't despawn. Didn't really get my manipulation on that one. Alright, another cube stack. Sequence break a bit. And I fixed my position. So now the gates are toggled the wrong way. So I can skip the lower left room over there and go this way instead. As soon as he steps to the middle of the gate, I can stop off that switch and drop him down. Solves that puzzle. Alright. Algebra came back and he was destroyed immediately. But he's back again. that wasn't what I usually do, so I was a little confused. I mean, I think it was more or less the same actions, but not the way I usually do them. Make sure I don't get hit by that. I try to play a little safe during this phase, because it's very important that I don't get hit here. Okay, I'm gonna actually dodge this attack. Normally he'd be low enough that I don't have to dodge that last move, because I just kill him right as he starts it. Alright. And he's back yet another time. Alright. No getting hit thing is still on. I don't actually have to damage him right now, because his health will be set to a certain value in a moment. Regardless. So, because I didn't get hit, I get this little thing, and I get the weapon. So, normally, what would happen in this phase, if you had taken damage at any other point, is that you would have to get killed by this boss. Boki would then copy its revival power and get the weapon when she came back. But because I didn't get hit, I don't have to do that. I think that Easter egg there is specifically added so that speedruns don't have a dumb death abuse in them. Or dumb looking, I suppose. Of course, sometimes I still end up getting hit and having to take the death. That's fine. And we use that artifact's power to jump to the enemy base. For the final world. I actually get quite a few cutscenes here in World 12. Speedrun mode determines them too cool to skip entirely. Yeah. Come on, get over here. That's the third time I've done a drill kick diagonal down right instead of down. He blocked that shot with his hand. His shields are a little weird. Most important line of the game. There it is. The only time Boki gets to say that in a speedrun. Ah. Missed my jump. Your remote plus tornado. Also, let's aim the tornado, just like Quick did. Alright, here I try position so that I'm close enough that all three of my shots hit, but not close enough that I take damage from the laser. Here's a very small position, so it's kind of finicky. Okay. This enemy, we had to kick it into a wall before the shield will break. Bouncing on that frog is tricky, because they try to self-destruct if you touch them. Okay. Here we have this turret. Didn't get it first try. If I go too early there, the cannonball just goes over my head. But if I go too late, I get shot in the face. So I want to avoid that happening. Oh no. That's fine. It's gonna... Wow. I'm glad I thought the drill kick there, because I would have been shot for sure. And we get to use a cannon for this core fight. I think this guy would get out of my way. This can be kind of tricky, because this core moves around a lot. And we only have one firing angle and one dimension of movement with the turret, so... I don't really have any regard for Boki's safety during this. If she gets hit with a laser, she gets hit with a laser. It's not my problem. That was pretty slow. Alright, just 3 more stages. I want to shoot that guy with a Boki beam to get its attention a little earlier. Alright. I actually positioned pretty specifically there to get this guy to spawn a little early. There's only a couple places where that's relevant. But if you manipulate the camera right, you can get enemies to spawn earlier than they normally would. Which usually just means manipulating your position. Alright. Get this cool weapon here, Perfect Thunder. Just a lightning strike that hits everything. One more. Alright, this last core is fairly simple, as we get this Mega Missile weapon. If it doesn't get knocked towards me for some reason, that was scary. It's a little too high. It's hard to deal with it when it does the shields in that position. It is random which direction it switches the shields to when it moves. Okay, now we have this escape sequence. We actually gain iframes every time we fire a missile during this, so it's fairly simple. I can stop once I hit this block. I don't have to actually try to escape. Okay, like a high 102, which is pretty good. Game time, that is. Alright, so the guy that hit us with that laser, back at the end of World 5. He's back. And angrier than ever. Nice misses. It's fine. I stood up before I was supposed to. I'm supposed to crouch under that. Okay, well, anyway. It's on a fixed pattern until he fires those remotes, and then he can do random stuff. That long dash is the thing we want to avoid at all costs, because it leads into a grab that takes a while. His short dash also does that, but it usually won't reach me before he does the jump part of it. Whoa. Well, as it gets the wall, so it didn't really matter. Shooting the shield there reduces the timer for the next phase. So it's not strictly necessary, but it does speed it up quite a bit. Alright, now I get the shield. It'll soak like 2 hits, and then it'll break on the 3rd. Well, it regenerates over time, so it can take more if you preserve it well enough. Saved me from that shot there. And that damage. We'll break instantly if we get grabbed, though. I want to avoid letting that happen. You want to be careful not to press the attack button too early when that attack is charging, because it actually stalls out the charge meter. Oh, and there's the grab. Just wanted to demonstrate what it was like. Very intentional. Oh, nice timely shield there, because I was not going to dodge that. You also get a shield refill whenever he puts his shield on. I'll dash right through that shot. Alright, he's not quite done yet. Worth noting that this boss fight takes longer than, like, half the worlds in the game. Not put together, but, you know, half of the individual worlds are shorter than this boss. This phase is actually fairly simple. We'll do all the same attacks in the same order for the entire thing. There's like one single move where he can randomly face the wrong direction and cost me 1 attack, and that's it. That's the extent of block in this fight. Yeah. Yep, he gave me bad luck. So I can only punish the second slash of these two, but I can't destroy either of the cannons until after this move happens. So I kind of just miss out on some damage. Ow. That one only had 1 hit left. Alright, he summons 4 cannons this time. Can't break them until after this move. I find it nice that I can't break the cannons early, because it means I don't have to try to optimize super hard right at the end of the run. Makes this fairly relaxed for me. This slash he does slower, so he can punish both parts of it. And if I'm able to do that, and reflect all of these, I can skip this next slash completely. And get a scripted full combo here. That also will make Boki auto-dodge every attack that would hit her, but that's pretty slow, so I avoid that. And the run is about to be over in just a moment. And time.
Hey, great run. Hey, great run.
Thanks.
That was so much fun to watch. What a cool game.
Yeah.
How long have you been running this game?
About 2 years.
Wow, very cool. I could tell we had some folks from the community in here watching as well, so
Yeah,
it's
there's a
really neat that
bunch
you
of
got to
names
show
I
that
know
off.
here.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we got you right at estimate, basically, pretty much. So really nicely done again. Thanks. Do you want to do any shout outs or anything before we get set up for our final run of the day?
Uh, Not really. There's too many people to mention. It would take me a while.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, thank you so much for doing this again.
Most of them are in chat anyway.
Yeah, be sure if you don't already follow RocketFox, I'm going to go ahead and put the command in chat here. Make sure that you give all of our runners a follow today and catch more of this really cool speedrunning on their own channels as well. So, all right, we're going to transition over then and get set up for the final run of the day, which is going to be Mind Seize. All collectibles, no major glitches by Ori Sky. So we'll be back for that in just a few minutes. Everybody sit tight.